Well, coaches are in the booths. We're ready for the pick and ban. ROX will be starting us off over on that blue side. Let's see if they're going to be wants to ban away either the Taliyah or the Zoe, if they're going to try to leave it on for as long as possible. I'm guessing that that's going to be the strat.
It's one of those things where, like you say, likely to be red side bans because first pick is available, but you're never 100% sure, as there's lots of strategies on red side to respect what you see on blue and try and force open those two super-powered picks on the red side. So I'm definitely a fan of red side right now. I feel like with the general balance of the game in a good spot, apart from the game stalling on too far on 8.3. It's a lot to like about red side. When you have these really highly prized mid laners who, right now, it doesn't necessarily feel like the extended bench is there for players like Tempt and Lava. If you're top heavy with great performances, you definitely see some attention. As speaking of red side picks, no Zaya Rakan first round for BBQ.
Not going to be seeing that one come in, and Skarner will also be taken off the board. So far, though, the Zoe and that Taliyah both available. Maybe BBQ going to try to force a choice.
A Galio ban on one side would definitely raise the priority on the Zoe, because Galio can nullify her very well. What the final ban is, and it will be a blue side Galio ban saying, hey, we'd love to first pick good old Zoe. Now, ROX Tigers also have Lava, who's played the Echo, so you could consider baiting and taking the mid lane Echo into it. So I'm intrigued to see if you just see an ignoring of the Zoe and a first pick Sejuani or something like that for Songwon. Outside chance, they look past it. Given how good he's been on it, maybe you just take it when it's available and don't try to play with fire, which represents Tempt Zoe.
All right, yep, just go ahead and take that one away. Lock in here for the side of ROX. So where is the priority going to lie for BBQ?
Spotlight time for sure.
Yeah, so
Braum you would love to have on red side. I wonder if ROX Tigers will just take Braum if it's available.
Well, it's going to be the J4, so a bit of a takeaway there from Songwon. We'll see what he wants to lock in as an answer. The Alistar also available for Ignore. We have seen that fairly regularly banned away from him.
I think with Alistar, you're not necessarily on a clock, but you're so worried that you have no true answer to the Zoe as the game goes on, whereas Braum can self-peel so well against the Zoe in a way that no other support is able to do. So I'd be surprised to see them look past Braum. Speaking of looking past Braum, ROX Tigers happy to just take the Tahm Kench. They see Jarvan, they see Varus, they put 2 and 2 together and consider that it's going to be a pick comp and go for the Tahm Kench.
Some safety there. Seems like they'll just go ahead and lock in the bot lane as we see the hover over the Tristana, and they will go ahead and pick that up for Songyun.
Really loved ROX draft in Game 2 against KT Rolster, where they went for the Taliyah Tristana as a duo. Tristana priority being much lower in Korea than in other regions, outside of specific comps around turret destruction, and Siege is definitely possible with the Zoe and the Tristana walking up and the Tahm Kench there for the disengage. BBQ insta-lock the Malzahar, Tempt going on to the comfort pick into Zoe. And when you already have the Jarvan, they're basically saying, we're going to repeatedly gank you around level 6 and try to just stop the Zoe from ever reaching relevance.
Into the bans, now trying to target the champ pool here of Songwon. The Sejuani will be taken off the board. Zach and Skarner all taken away, so some of the more higher priority junglers are eliminated.
And the Braum will be banned away. I was going to say, would ROX Tigers just leave it up? And there's no reason to. Support is not drafted yet by BBQ. That's why BBQ themselves banning junglers against the side of ROX Tigers. Sejuani, Skarner, the 2 big tickets taken off by them, and the Zach already answered. So, looking towards the extended bench here. Songwon, remember, can always just go for old comfort, the Rengar Kha'Zixes.
Yeah.
That are potentially drafted, and even though it's Jarvan and not something like a Zach, a Nidalee ban here is a little bit surprising to me. Does fit in with the Zoe and Tristana in terms of siege, but it'd be so much siege that it would really give them no backup identity.
A bit too much. If they get collapsed on,
you just lose if you fall behind,
yeah,
if you
goodbye,
go
good night.
Into the Nidalee as well. So ROX Tigers will have that one answered at least. So I'm feeling like Kha'Zix may be on the menu for ROX.
It was right next to that Jarvan on our graph there for Songwon as the key player. Thresh the final ban. So Alistar maybe going to have to be the option perhaps for Ignar.
Oh, a counter pick for Crazy if they were to go to the Alistar. Now, Ignar also can last pick support, and he's one of the few that draws a lot of respect there. But clearly he's going for the conventional rather than a Leona or something super risky. You want engage against Siege, that's why the Leona would have been an outside chance, but when Alistar's up and it's been banned against him pretty frequently, you take it. So some secret agent missions, hopefully from some unsealed spellbook. Alistair from Ignar.
See if he still wants to stick with that.
How do you straddle the line between a siege comp, a poke comp, but also having some backup identity, as you will have to blind pick top lane? Gnar is available, and Crazy hasn't been impressive on some champions to try to destroy the Gnar. Look at this. Olaf is clearly a contagion in Korea out of nowhere. We see two teams on the same day.
But is it?
Olaf top as a blind pick would be pretty damn insane, if you ask me.
Yeah, especially given the pool that is still available, such as the Gnar. That could be locked into the top lane and the Scion, of
Everything's
course.
there. There's no top lane bans apart from the Gangplank, so Scion would make the most sense. Don't want to go for the Gnar, even though it's old comfort. Cool, so we're going to see the Olaf once again. Different matchup here, one where Predator can sometimes not give as much of an advantage because the Cataclysm has to be flashed in and out of.
Yeah. Not going to be able to Ragnarok your way out of that. Do have the Tahm Kench there for the backup, and
bit of tears for Ignar in his relegation battle.
That would just be the most hilarious thing ever if we could see that, but maybe we go back to the Trundle when we will. So lock in here for Crazy, going to go for the lane matchup into the Scion.
Something to try to swing the game towards the side of BBQ. Mid lane's going to be competitive. It requires the jungler to do some heavy lifting. Bot lane going to be pretty damn non-interactive, but the curveball here for BBQ couldn't outclass how much siege was there from the side of ROX Tigers is the Trundle. So I think largely BBQ going to play around the 4-1 Swift Push, but also some great Baron damage with the Malzahar to tank it up. Whereas ROX Tigers want to get out of lane, have Scion in a side lane, and start going for the grouping around turrets. Some very powerful grouping plays can happen there. Scion can also just walk up and be involved in the siege. The Banner of Command, also an outside chance. But given that Trundle does physical damage, not as powerful against a Trundle compared to something like the Ornn.
All right, well, ROX Tigers certainly ride into this one. Sun at their backs. Victory on the horizon. But can they attain it? That is going to be the question. A 2-0 is what would be expected from these guys after the most recent takedown of KT Rolster, but BBQ, they have that random X factor. Seems like they can't control when it gets activated, but when it does, they end up walking away with a victory, and this would be a very good time for that to randomly get triggered.
ROX Tigers really want to have their Olaf get in the face of the Jarv and slow down any reactions to the mid lane, and then play through a Zoe, picking up her items. And the engage goes wrong for BBQ, they get paddle starred to death.
Well, Malzahar there for the containment matchup against the Zoe. We'll see if Temp can find success, or if Lava is just going to be one-shotting people left and right. ROX Tigers versus BBQ, game number 1. Let's get it started. Both teams' fans being quite vocal here in the audience on a Saturday night.
I'm going to be vocal as well, Achilles, because I wanted the spellbook unleashed on the Alistair, and we will see it. So 4 spellbooks this game. Both these teams have been some of our most creative. Patch 8.2, but with the nerfs on 8.3, the spellbook 80 carries have largely been a thing of the past.
You're also going to be vocal because it's quite literally your job.
You know, I'm going to definitely try to enunciate where possible. There are the ROX fans. I believe that might be family members.
That could be.
Of Songwon in the audience.
Maybe a younger brother there, perhaps.
But the BBQ fans always trying to fry the game. That is their slogan.
We fry the game.
Sometimes I feel like that can be used both positively and negatively.
Yeah, it really can.
Which is probably good, because BBQ have been up and down. They're always frying the game in one way or another. Songwon went for a walk topside. Might just be going for a no-leash start. This allows Tristana and the Tahm Kench to get the rush to level 2, and Tristana actually struggles in the Varus lane if she's behind because the range early isn't there, and she gets heavily poked by Varus auto E trades. So they're prizing the Tristana getting to lane first. What BBQ can take from this is that Olaf is largely going to be trying to power farm on low health to abuse his passive. However, power farming on low health is a great chance for Trick to go on the invade. So there's a lot to unpack here. First, we understand why ROX Tigers really want the Tristana and the Tahm Kench to rush to lane. But for Trick, he's the one to look at this and lick his lips a little bit, because if he can pick up the pathing here, Songwon, he's going to find him at 300 health or less.
Very high risk, high reward situation here for Songwon as he starts up the blue buff. You can see the sustain off the W already going to be quite good. Start things off and has the smite as well. This will help his clear speed shoot up significantly as we take another look at the mid lane. Just for fun.
There's nothing fun about a 2-minute redemption. But it's fun to know it won't be there from Tuesday onwards.
That's true.
Oh, Zoe.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to
so
be
much,
happy to
Balance
see
team.
the back of you.
Nice hit. Points and hurt shot as well. Barely gets out of range of that one in time. As we might have, we have the opposite actually. It's going to be Songwon invading on Trick, but the ward comes over the wall. Still going to feel quite all right to take away these Raptors, though.
He actually lifestealed to full off of the Rift Scuttle. That
Yeah.
was impressive there. So he doesn't go for the power farm, goes for the invade. Showing us there is different ways to play the Olaf. Cool to see. I feel like Olaf is one of the, on paper, most inflexible junglers, and that he's always been a blue buff starter in competitive play, but we just saw a red buff start into blue. And even though he's blue buff gated largely on his first clear, it was fun to see evolving Olaf metas where you think you know exactly what an Olaf does, but more and more teams are being creative. So cool to see Songwon, second Olaf of the day, do something a bit different to what we're used to.
Well, Trick pushes in, hiding in the brush, has the double buffs ready to go. If only Linderong would push forward. Wave moving against him. We'll have his devastating smash interrupted by the pillar, but seems like Trick is just going to go ahead and abandon this cause, head back to base, and get his purchases through.
Not much gank assist unless flashes down on the Scion from the Trundle, so no real way to make too many inroads, such as ganking Scion in the early game. Now, Pillar, I believe, does interrupt the charge of the Decimating Smash, so we'll wait and see what the order is here, because you are able to get that mini knockback if you use the Pillar right behind. So, seen a lot of Glacial Augment, but still Emax Scion against lanes that have the pretty on-command answer. Now, the Pillar's long cooldown in the early game, so maybe you go there anyway, but wait and see. It's never fun to find a full health Olaf, and Trick's first thought is to get the hell out.
Yep, let's go ahead. Take that flag and drag over the wall. He'll lose out on that Scuttle Crap. Stepped barely dodges around the side of that Trouble Bubble. But yeah, can interrupt that Decimating Smash, and I believe could even just throw it down as the ultimate begins from the Scion if he wants to interrupt it. Just collide straight into that pillar and stop that Scion from charging in onto somebody like Ghost.
The Battle Ward playstyle that we alluded to is happening even earlier. You thought after the first clear we would see this aggressive play, but Olaf farmed enough to pick up his trackers and is already on the invader's bot side. This is going to be the general play cadence. You want to get hyped about a buff pulverized, but not much to hype.
And really to come through until we see those Chains of Corruption coming down and likely targeting out Key. He's actually going to be the attainable target. So far, so good for Linderong.
Yeah, surprised to see QSS rush on the Zoe, which might come as a surprise to a lot of people at home, but it's an outright rush rather than first going for Lost Chapter. I feel like when you have such a combat advantage from your jungler who can just go for the Predator aggressive plays, if you're battle warding, why also QSS is my question. I feel like this is one of the few games where you go into the API, maybe even finish the Morellos, because someone's going to be happy to walk up. At all worried about Trick going for a gank if he's going to be just taking 300 damage trades every time he sees the Viking. QSS, to me, the wrong purchase, but ultra conservative purchase from Lava.
He's just relying on having additional items ready to go via his W coming in. So we just saw the Proto Belt pick up and he used to dodge out on the Silence. Maybe trying to play around the ganks from Songwon, make it so Temp doesn't have a target he can reliably attack with that Nether Grasp to try to get away. The QSS immediately bringing Lava out, the Ragnarok cleansing that off there for Songwon.
Temp will have a gold per 10 item complete on his next back. Remembering the Watch is being rushed to get the quest gold rolling in. For now, at least, it's going to be disabled by him picking up lane minions. But when you full complete the item, which I believe is 1,800 gold at full purchase, does give you the chance to find a bit more gold generation. Definitely comes in healthy later in the game. I wonder if we'll see more Remnant of the Watchers on patch 8.4. I believe the gold generation starts to be answered in 8.5, but sometimes you lose track of patch notes when they're that far in the future.
He's back there. Linderong just interrupting crazy. Gonna stop him up as much as possible. Bramble Vest rush there for Linderong.
Doesn't feel good anymore compared to being the one item to answer basically every top lane.
Oh.
It's not so much that as seeing a nice little roam from Lava.
Coming in, gonna open up with the paddle star. Big charge coming through from Linderong, and Crazy in a bad spot. Will get slept, will be going down. They try to hand the first blood over to Zoe. They manage to do it. Lava walking out of the top lane with that one under his belt.
And Crazy just surprised that the QSS rush Zoe was able to gank topside. Usually when you see a build like this, you think they're going to be anchored to the mid lane. There's no vision on the top side. The gank clearly caught him completely by surprise, and very nice play by ROX Tigers.
And he's only going to lose maybe 1 or 2 minions right as that wave crashes into the turret, so still will actually be operating with a lead over Tempt. Now has that first blood gold as well. So Lava going for the QSS, he gets a nice little burst to help him get back in with the damage items.
So he lulled them into a false sense of security with his first item, then went for the aggressive roam. That's why he's the next level mid laner. It was just great gank timing. Should be heavily complimented for that. Second blue buff spawn. Does mean he's going to stay in lane even longer. We're going to see a pretty sick buy, but no, he's happy to go and just take the blue when it's the right pathing for the Olaf. Won't get the full duration, but the lost chapter into more coming from the side of Love.
Just lose out on about 20 some odd seconds there on that buff as he goes back, works his way into the mid lane, matched with Tempt. See his gold for 10 now completed. Still operating at an overall CS loss, so GP10 going to help him stay in this one, try to stay neck and neck as far as the total value goes. Crazy trying to go aggressive here on the Linderong. Doesn't have the subjugate to invest.
Yeah, and the Bummies to the Bramble Vest rush is a really big one against the Trundle. Was always one of the reasons that he was hard to fit in the meta, was that one item shut him down severely, given how much of his game plan is around aggressive trades and then sustaining off the minion wave. Plus the Bramble Vest got nerfed, it's still going to be relevant against him because of the healing reduction, but not just answering him completely in one item. So in more of a healthy spot. I believe someone's in vision, so they know the Drake is going down bot side.
2 birds with 1 stone there with that leash. Throws out the axe and triggers the dragon as well, so goes ahead. Starts those up. Key and Song and Yun are here to support. Just keep Ignore and goes gated out. Now Linderong, he's just going to charge away, but nice flash in on the flag and drag, but they can't answer the kill. They will be able to get a flash for Flash, however, as this dragon does get taken by Songwon.
Seems like a bad read by Trick. If he knew Sion's flash was down, it was the right play, but there was never going to be enough follow-up damage to turret dive a Sion who was full health and kill him even after the interrupt. So that was, I believe, just categorically the wrong play. You understand why he saw the Drake going down and wanted to make a play topside, but now his flash is down, and I feel like there's no pressure at all on Zoe, who will just extend her CS lead against the Malzahar.
Yeah, and the hits are starting to come through off those paddle stars, and that's why there's a difference when I say nice and you say nice. I say nice because something looks neat. You shut it down because it was just silly.
Yeah, I guess that's just how it goes. I become too cynical over here, only looking for calculated plays.
Turns out that'll happen when you're casting this much League of Legends.
You know, there's been a few games. I believe this is 135 today on this particular game.
It's quite a lot. I forget how many I did last year, but I think it was around 118 in the first season, something like that, 119.
Well, I'm still enjoying it, Achilles. That's probably the good sign. Again, there's a redemption, so I'm tilted vicariously for the side of BBQ. Ignor's laning with teleport, so I guess the playmaking will start soon. The moment you see an Alistar walk to lane with teleport, you have to know that side lane plays are going to be in quick succession.
Well, Key just stopping by to say hello. Uses those relic shield charges in here for Lava. Allows him to get back to base that much faster. So far, the Trundle needs to get some items in. Needs to finish off this call, which is taking quite a while.
Sion
but
does the
for
best.
now, it's been a bit of a brutal one for him.
And Sion does the best of tank top laners in Trundle, and that shouldn't be a surprise. Kind of the best at everything and in class for tanks right now. But he's very good at proxying the minion wave, building just a stack of armor and health, and also roaring away a cannon, roaring away minions, just decimating smash.
Running away from ganks.
I mean, stunning all the minions. All I mean is eventually just Trundle hits his items, and if it's a Maokai, you're just taking turrets in front of him. Against the Sion, you can't actually push the minion wave into the damn turret because Sion has so many ways to interrupt it and just tank up the damage. So it does delay the Trundle from doing a split push game, and then if death timers get long enough and you get enough picks on the side, you can just win around the Trundle. It's mid lane.
Exhaust coming down, looking for Tempt. Silence not going to connect. Can he get one more paddle star? Tosses it out, but yeah, not going to have the distance on it. Songwon is hovering around the back. Has the ping out. Does he want to go for the dive?
Wants to interrupt at least.
Yeah, wants to interrupt, and we'll go ahead and slow up the wave as well so they can keep pushing forward towards that turret.
He's going for a double interrupt. What a jerk.
Yep, stops him yet again. There's nothing the Trick can do other than look at this.
Well, the battle warning has been successful, and you see why he was so concerted in his effort. Teleport down on Tempt. Ignar, no reason to teleport to mid. Sangyun with a nice rotation. Multi-part play by ROX Tigers, but a very smart one.
Yeah, very well thought out here. Multiple steps ahead, and they'll even take away the blue buff. And the bot wave just not in a position for Ghost to even try to push that one in, and maybe just going to get punished a little bit as I slip up on my words there. Smite comes down, so can't get the handoff over to Lava, but will be taken away by Songwon.
You would have thought, if you did your research on the previous BBQ win against Jin Air, that ROX would play around bot side. Because over the course of that series, it was 16, 2, and 15 from Ghost, a huge KDA in 2 games, and one of the games on this particular Varus pick. So attacking bot lane seemed to be one of the ways you could get a lead. Instead, the battle warding into Zoe having a field day in mid lane, a smart rotation from Sangyun and Key has gotten them their advantages. They have so much mid control. Trick has been unable to gank because he's having enough trouble getting his own Raptors. It's been a very controlled game from BBQ, well-researched, well-coached. ROX Tigers continuing to really impress us with how they're playing out these games.
Yeah, it's excellently done. 2.4 thousand gold lead so far, just 14 minutes into this. So, very consistent so far. Just need to avoid those slip-ups and try to accelerate the pace of this game. Continuing to get Sangyun ahead is a very good thing for the ROX Tigers.
And eventually, the Olaf gets a Righteous Glory, runs at Ghost, and kind of good luck when it comes to the Varus self-peeling.
The only way they can really stop him is they have the Cataclysm. Yeah,
and that feels terrible, right? Because suddenly Sangyun and Lava are having a field day on the other side. So.
I mean, it's not really not that great for them to lock down anybody with that Cataclysm. Olaf, yeah, he'll get trapped in there, but good luck killing him in the late game. Sangyun can leap out, the Devour over the wall, perhaps for other people. If they can kill Key,
it's a really fun siege drop.
It's beneficial, I guess.
I just love how ROX have played this out because it's not a conventional siege drop. We don't normally see these sort of drafts come out, but the way they've done it smart as bot lane.
Chain of Corruption comes down, the Devourer is there. Now Songwon arriving as the TP's come through from both members. That's going to get the pop immediately there on the Key. Cataclysm comes down, Sangyun going to flash out. Songwon able to make it out with his life. Lava arriving a bit too late to try to turn things around, so BBQ are able to capitalize with those TPs, are able to get a kill.
It was the Summoner Spell teleport in case you're wondering, but Lava's still here. Battle start interrupted, nice team play there by Trick.
Now BBQ going to try to push in and maybe get this turret, but the wave clear. Still going to be quite strong, and Songwon is still hovering nearby. BBQ just going to walk away with that.
You want to, at minimum, draw the Songwon back into lane. 2v4, possible. 3v4 not. Bit of a delay. Minion wave not being taxied in mid lane at all, so no other advantages for BBQ to pick up. We're going to see the replays. Start off with Sangyun walking up, and he had taken some great trades before, but the chunk out at the start was pretty massive. The moment the teleports were channeled, no top laner is able to react. I think he wasn't even able to press his gray screen, just died.
Yeah.
Very, very early in the fight, visited the gray screen instead. But ROX going to be happy to return to plan A, and rotating super aggressive.
Yeah, going to be looking for Temp, but he's got the flash. TP gets tossed out. Will not be able to find anything there.
BBQ trying to find a way to actually turn their previous pick into a lead on the map. Right now, they've only got pretty defensive vision. Now it's very difficult for them to contest this Drake. ROX Tigers is happy to return to it. BBQ going to be just completely zoned out of the area from the control ward placed in the room.
Another Dragon over to the ROX Tigers. Another Mountain on the way is the third one of the game.
Backs for BBQ have been attacked this game. That's been the most consistent game plan from ROX, amusingly, and
just never let them get back to the base.
You wonder how BBQ are going to turn on their composition, because it already seems pretty clear that it's going to take a few items for Trundle to ignore the Scion. Has a Cull cashed in, but the delay is on. We've mentioned already this matchup is a difficult one for the Trundle to wade through. The rest of the map has never been able to play through mid-side, so Lava's just farming up a Storm. And when ROX group, there's one round of flash ults, and if that doesn't work, they get poked to death and they lose turrets. So unless they can get a vision advantage and force some face checks onto either Tempt, Ghost, or Ignite, they have a lot of pick power from ahead, but from behind, well, they have so little map control, and Olaf can just walk into the enemy jungle and force people to move away. Actually moving forward as the BBQ comp is going to be a real tough test.
And the third redemption of the game picked up by Lava.
We don't talk about it anymore. I've had my piece. Tilted for a few lifetimes by the redemptions from the Zoes. Ghost has been able to farm up. Has a kill from killing the Tahm Kench earlier, while the laning phase was looking a bit tricky. Right now it's back to being competitive. One on the roam. Game in a lull. Obviously saying that word intentionally to have a bit of fun in the air, because right now it's just Songwon battle warding. The mid lane turret, that's usually the hardest objective to take pre-20 minutes, was gone much earlier. Sion can't push past Trundle and have any turret threats, so unless they can find a way to control blue side jungle, the game does stall out a little bit from the perspective of ROX Tigers.
Kind of surprised that Songwon didn't want to go in to deny that blue buff away from Tempt. Would have maybe forced out at least a smite fight between he and Trick. Sides, and bigger fish to fry will just move over to take this Rift Herald.
Maybe that's a way to crash the turret of Trundle. Is crazy. He's going to get stunned up for a little bit.
Last cone over the wall. Lava just going to be helping him out. Linderong is here to bodyguard.
Attempts at the all-in. No Chains of Corruption used, so always a chance we'll see the re-engage onto Sungyun while Devour's on cooldown. Trick threatened going bot lane, but gives up on the objective, knowing that there might be a very quick Rift Herald he needs to answer on the map.
Top lane potentially under threat here. Seems like the minions have worked it down pretty decently, just going off of what I can see on the mini-map. We'll even get the red buff takeaway. And Lava's rotating up with him.
Yeah, it's Rift Herald on the top side time, trying to extend the lane phase for the Trundle.
The bubble comes through, gets the connection as it hits the ground. Hasn't taken that much damage yet, but now the Rift Herald going to be channeled through, TP canceled.
That does mean the objective is going to be given up, though. Ignite did not want to come in at 2v3 with no other attention on that side of the map. Zoe can go disengage. The Trundle continues to be frustrated, hitting items, but not like the earlier series where we saw Sowon go massively big against Smeb's Cho'Gath on the Trundle and push down some top lane turrets. This Trundle has little to no map control, as the rest of the map has been on the defensive, and you have to love the Olaf pick for what it's provided. The amount of safety it's provided all three laners has meant they're just able to farm out, and in the case of Sungyun and Ki, rotate mid lane and get advantages early game when the threat of Malzahar and Jarvan should be at its highest.
And that's just going to be the swap coming in. Linderong joining in from the bottom side, going to hold on to this turret as long as he can. As we will see, it's the general rotation around the map. Lava for now heading up towards the top side of the map. Songyun and Ki find themselves in mid. See if they want to keep this rotation or maybe shuffle the bot up to the top. Yet again.
Multiple different ways you can approach it, as looks like bot lane turret's going to take a much longer to crash after they've abandoned having the duo lane in bot. Durang walks up.
TP's coming in behind him.
It's going to be Tempt, but he just cancels it.
Yeah.
Realizes that with the ult up and the flash up on Sion, he wasn't going to die.
I can't stop him. So that was a bit wanting there.
It's a bit desperate. That's kind of the word you use, is a bit of desperation. We saw Kongdu make some very desperate plays in Game 1 against Kingzone, and the Olaf pick is rushing the side of BBQ. That's what you can see here. They feel rushed. They feel pressured. Now both their teleports are down. They have a third one on Crazy, but not a big playmaking one, and this is Linderong. He's not even having his shield broken on 2 rounds of autos and Qs from the Trundle.
I mean, obviously the subjugate hasn't been used, but even then you would expect to be getting through a little bit of the surface here instead of getting out-traded very heavily by this Sion. But the Bramble Vest, the Frozen Heart, doing so much work for him against a Ravenous Hydra Sheen Trundle.
Yeah, it's hard to puncture through Sion, especially when you don't have global gold to buff up your items. He might just lose a turret in the face because he doesn't actually have...
This is such a role reversal, it's
great.
This
is opposite day for ROX Tigers.
Trundle haters can cheer here.
I don't think there's any Trundle haters. No one plays Trundle in solo queue Achilles. There's only Sion haters. the Sion haters is going to be vindicated by Sion successfully winning every lane. Where's the Darius at?
Haven't seen it yet. I know you were touting that at the beginning of the season.
Darius in lane against Sion actually does brutalize him hard.
I had a friend who has not played League of Legends in years reach out to me. He was just like, I don't know what's good in the top lane anymore. I was like, well, what did you used to play? And he's like, Darius and Olaf. And I was saying, like, Darius is apparently pretty busted if you can figure him out. And he went and he played and apparently just absolutely wiped the floor with his enemy team. But hasn't broken into Korea yet.
Linderong still is not going to have his shield broken.
Oh, well, it's going to be the Abyssal Voyage coming through. We'll slow him up, jump over the wall. Crazy going to try to flash away. That was
optimistic.
Really bad, I would say, actually, to try to flash away from that one when you were certainly dead. Hit just not going to connect there off the Paddle Star. Trick will be able to walk out with his life, but Songwon's still zipping his way over here.
Oh, he really wants it.
To pop on the passive, misses the second axe, and then we'll go ahead and peel back.
Damn, he really wanted the engage there, popping the Predator and the ultimate in order to get a pick. Doesn't find it. The chain stuns, or the chain slows, I should say, in a long lane. Can lead to chase down kills. They have a fallback option, though. They have not been able to pick up a kill, but a Mountain Drake's going down. Some camps are being stolen. This feels like BBQ at every turn are second best when it comes to visiting their camps, when it comes to visiting the neutrals. It's not a perfect game by the side of ROX Tigers, but it's the perfect gameplay against what BBQ has drafted. And this is even before we see the full value of free farm Zoe. She only gets sweeter as the game goes on.
Looking at potential 4 Drakes here for the ROX Tigers, and BBQ can't halt that. That makes for a very monstrous Elder Dragon, if they even need it, to close out the game. This is just tight-knit control here for the ROX Tigers. Hasn't been the bloodiest game. Clearly Songwon wants it to be. He would love to go in and just start ripping them apart. Just hasn't gotten that opportunity yet, but everything is otherwise very concise from the side of ROX.
What he has done is control the game. He's 50 CS above Jarvan, so that represents just over 12.5 jungle camps. And the playstyle for BBQ was 4-1, but what do you do with the 4? They don't just want to rock up in mid lane and be paddle starred to death. They wanted to pick people with the Varus, the Jarvan, the whole lineup is about pick, but they've never actually had a vision lead in the entire game. It feels like it's almost gank brush time with how much they want to be finding a place to actually use their ultimates. I'm not even sure Malzahar has even ulted someone this game. If he had ultimate hat, he's not going to be in a happy place. There's been so little use of any of the skills this game because there's no picks with the way ROX Tigers are playing out the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He doesn't have an assist.
I don't think he's ulted anyone.
I feel like he might, I thought he used it in the bottom lane perhaps and then just didn't get a kill.
Maybe.
But I could be very
He certainly hasn't ulted 2 people.
It was forever ago, so now I don't remember. But Trick, he is just going to get blown up.
And you group with the Sion, you start the siege. This is the way ROX Tigers wanted to play it out. Tristana hitting 2.5 items. Paddle Stars and the Trouble Bubbles coming in. There's no counterplay for BBQ.
Right there on attempt, he goes low, but they can't follow up for the kill, and Trick is still going back to the fountain. Just now gets there as he recalls. Another turret taken here, 4-0. Aside from the kill, this would be perfect game pace for the ROX Tigers.
It's a beautiful execution on a draft that other teams have mangled. This is not necessarily the easiest draft to play. If you add in the Taliyah instead of the Zoe, it becomes easier because you have so much global pressure with the Taliyah. But this is without the Taliyah being able to integrate the Zoe. And instead of Taliyah, they just had the Battle Warden pressure the Olaf. And there's no good news for BBQ.
There's just no one who can front line for this team. Ignar and Crazy both will take massive amounts of damage from this Zoe. We already saw what happened to Trick in the mid lane, so he certainly doesn't want to be sitting up in the front. So ROX, just with the pressure that they are exerting with their presence, are just pushing BBQ back away from the objectives, which allows them to take it for free. They're not quite going to be the same situation.
And the question you ask, we'll hold the questions for now, as there might be a desperation engage, but no, everyone backs away. But the question you ask is the frustrating part for BBQ is, who do you blame? It doesn't feel like the pick and ban or the players have necessarily massively outplayed this game, as ROX decide between going in and out.
A really rough situation there. Songyun immediately flashing away, but they still come with the kill there. Onto Ghost, and now Crazy is just too far forward. Songyun, feeling reinvigorated, will jump through, takes a lot of damage from the Trundle, but the Devourer keeps him alive, and it's going to be a double kill over to Songwon, and now with 2 members dead, ROX Tigers turn their sights over onto that Baron.
They don't have a lot of vision, but they do have the member advantage. Let's see how they keep the Jarvan out of the pit. It's the last piece of the puzzle here.
Could just do the trick there. Go ahead and lock him down. That was not an intentional pun either.
And yet
That'll start not going to connect. Another one connects in here. Ignar feeling the pressure, has to face tank here. Body block for the Malzahar, tricks over the wall. There's just no real way for him to get in the wall. He might just die. It's chunked down to half HP, and the Baron will be taken by ROX.
It must be distressing for BBQ that they have not made severe mistakes in this game, and yet they have not really been able to control their destiny at all. ROX Tigers have been in control of this game in such beautiful style. BBQ thought, finally we've out-rotated, we can walk up, but the Abyssal Voyage comes up. They may have started off with a defensive flash, but you saw the Trouble Bubble onto Ghost. It sealed his fate.
Yep.
From the heavens was the lightning that took him down, and then everyone's out of position on BBQ. Nothing they can do. The Olaf draft has turned a trick, and this is really working out. Every time we're seeing Olaf both battle ward and just innately counter a Varus comp like it used to counter Ashe comps years ago, you sit back and you say, why did it take so long? Because the Olaf is really, really impressing.
It really is. And you have to wonder how much preparation, it seems like quite a bit of preparation done here by Songwon, so maybe this is already spread to multiple teams in their scrims. But Peanut setting the stage with the pick, showing off just how much it can do. And Songwon, he adopts that playstyle of the Battle Ward excellently here in this game.
And look, we definitely have picks of the week in Korea where out of nowhere, no changes happen and everyone's playing a champion. You think of Galio when Lava was the one to bring that out. And it seems that someone rolled the dice, and maybe we'll be able to find out who is. That's a nice interrupt.
Yeah, but it could be the Devourer there to go ahead and deny it. One's still going to be safe, but over from the back line. That's going to be a TP coming through. Key pops the shield, but he is going to go down. Nethergrass finally used there by Tep, but a passive arrival from Linderong locks everybody up. Ghost goes down as Zoe finds the kill. Follow-up onto Ignar and Tep. 3 members absolutely deleted off the face of the rift. ROX Tigers explode right back into the fight, and they might just finish it right here, 29 minutes on the clock.
The Scion was doing his best Poppy impression, felt like a keeper's verdict into the air, hit 4 people with the instant cast stun. It's not long duration, but it's exactly what they needed. And you're right, with the Scion, they're trying to tank up, they're trying to end the game.
And the minions coming in, powered by Baron, just going to be Trick and Crazy left alone here in the base. They haven't done much this entire game. They're not going to be able to do anything here at the end. Nexus exposed. Trick will make it out here barely with his life. But game 1, that goes to ROX Tigers, and it does so definitively.
If you told me it was Kingzone, if you turned off the nameplates, it looked like Kingzone Dragon X on the ROX Tigers side. Super, super smart. Dropped into excellent play. It was something a bit different, but it was mastered in a way that we did not see coming. We told you already that ROX Tigers were better than we could have ever expected. Isn't it exciting that we still don't know their ceiling, because that was fantastic. It wasn't a perfect game, but it was the perfect game by ROX Tigers.
Beautifully done by these guys. ROX Tigers just shatter BBQ. Nothing that they could really do. 2 kills at the end of the day, stopping them from having a perfect game.
And they started off with the best moment of the game, the interrupt on the rocket jump. And then when you saw Ignar with the fact, you thought, okay, it's old BBQ. But there isn't often much to PogChamp about Scion.
Kaboom.
That 4-man kaboom completely stuffed the whole team into a decimating smash. Enjoy being in the air for 2 seconds. Everyone else in the death chamber. Gray screens for this particular game after that move. Excellent stuff from Linderong. Excellent stuff from ROX.
Yeah, stuffed indeed. About as threatening as a stuffed animal there was BBQ here in game number 1. ROX Tigers continue looking great.
But the scariest thing is, BBQ didn't even make a lot of mistakes. It's just that ROX Tigers did the best thing at every opportunity, got the maximum, gave up the minimum, and just dispatched BBQ where they stood.
Now BBQ shifting over to the blue side. What do you attack when you come into this next draft? Do you have to ban away the Olaf? Because honestly, I'm thinking yes.
You know, it's getting that way. You might want to counterpick jungle. That's not something you say out loud very often, but Trick was well controlled that game.
Well, ROX Tigers, momentum in their grasp. See if they can ride with this and deliver us another 2-0 here today, or if BBQ can collect themselves over the break. Bono, assume he's in the back room. Is it time to unleash him and hope that he can have more presence on the map than Trick?
With 3 weeks left in the season, we may have the ROX Tigers in 4th spot in the LCK.
Absolutely bonkers to think about coming into the season. Like you said, everybody expecting so little from this team. They have shattered all expectations in a positive light. And they are climbing the standings. They are looking for that playoff spot. 2-0 here would help them earn it. Let's see if they can get it when we come back from the break. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in just a few minutes.